Hi, everyone. We're here to talk about Ekapada Kapotasana. That is pigeon pose. And if you've been avoiding pigeon pose or unsure about how to come into pigeon pose because of underlying hip or knee pain, you're in the right place. Let's start with the traditional setup for pigeon pose. You'll begin on hands and knees, and that's Timber here to help. From hands and knees, bring your knee forward just to the outside of your wrist. Looking back at your foot, wiggle it forward also. This is externally rotating the femur bone, which is what is causing this pose to be so effective for opening up your hip. Wiggle your back foot backward until your sits bone is on the ground. And once your sits bone is on the ground, you are in pigeon pose. Timber approves. However, if your sits bone is off the ground, or you're feeling some distress in knee or hip joint, this is where a block or a blanket comes in handy. Slide that prop underneath your sits bone. You can always have another prop with you, a bolster, or come down to your forearms. What you're looking for is a stretch in the outer hips and a little bit in your low back. So for the third setup, this is from the restorative school of thought. I hope you have a bolster at home. They're wonderful for yoga practice. So taking your bolster, come to hands and knees. Slide your knee forward. Your foot will be tucked sort of at the nose of the bolster. Then bring your back leg behind you, and you may feel your sits bone touch the ground, or you may not. You can slide a block or a blanket underneath that space. Lie prone on your prop and enjoy a nice 3 to 4 minute hold. The last variation, the one that I find is so helpful for people experiencing tightness or injury or recovering from surgery, lie or sit, recline back on your hands, step your feet wide apart. Drop your knees over and notice that your legs are in a 90-90 position, 2 right angles. Turn your body forward. Walk your hands forward. And the further you lean away from your foot, the more gentle this pose will feel. The closer to your foot that you lean and the further forward you lean, the more you're going to feel the stretch in your outer hips, which is the target muscle group for this pose. The benefits of pigeon are so important for your hip mobility that I encourage you to practice this pose, but adapt it to what you are feeling. Just because you've got pain in hips and knees doesn't mean pigeon shouldn't be in your practice. So I'll see you on the mat, and thanks for visiting.